Does driving your Porsche put an uncontrollable smile on your face, but you're frustrated with the foam bits from the vents flying into your face and getting stuck in your hair, nose, and teeth during spirited driving? This video can help. No warranty or guarantee expressed or implied. Toothbrush not included. My goal was to do a minimally invasive repair without taking the dash apart or cutting ducts up. I think I achieved that, and I will show you how right now. You're welcome. Here's what you'll need to complete this job: a set of screwdrivers, a set of Torx bit screwdrivers, and some socket wrenches, duct tape, foam tape, or aluminum tape, your choice, a razor blade, or a hacksaw blade if you want to make a big mess of plastic bits that you have to clean up later. Squeeze here to open up the tabs. I think this may be a little corroded, that's why it's hard to get out. More things you'll need for this job: a new heater core gasket if you can't save yours, and then some butyl glue to reattach it after you're done. Long, thin octopus hands made of hardened leather, the patience of a Buddhist monk waiting for nirvana in the middle of an MMA fight. Optionally, a small camera or endoscope so you can see what you're doing down inside of the duct. And finally, a toothbrush to clean all the foam bits out of your teeth. Expect quite that much glue to come out. Alright, now if I can keep this thing upright, then I don't have to try to refill it later. It should be still full of fluid. You see how the foam is just disintegrating. So that's what I'm going to replace. Well, I'm not even going to replace it with foam. I'm just going to tape it over with. There's two of these baffles, and I'm hoping I can get. This one does lift out. I have to undo it and cut this top off so I can get to the top of it, and then from underneath it can be unscrewed. So there's one baffle here, and there's one that's further forward. And if I can reach up in there and get to that one. I would prefer it rather than trying to take apart the dash and cut into the air box from the front. You can see all the foam that has collected down in the bottom here, and that keeps blowing out into the car through the vents. So I'm going to vacuum that all out, and I'm going to pull off what I can from this, and then I'll start dismantling. I'm going to attempt to cut this off with a razor blade rather than a hacksaw. The hacksaw is just going to leave a lot of little plastic bits everywhere, and I think this will be a lot cleaner. Maybe make it easier to glue it back together when I'm done. See, I'm halfway through now, or not quite halfway through, but getting close. Okay, I've cut through it, and there it is. Looks like I cut a little bit of the thing underneath of it that I was hoping not to, but oh well. Life goes on. So I grabbed the upper bearing surface with a razor blade and pulled it out. See, it's got a little grease on it. And that's why I didn't want to get a bunch of little plastic filing bits down in there and start grinding itself apart later if you get a bunch of debris down in there. Okay, so there's a couple of clips. You got to get up under here. Clip there, a clip back there. Yep, little plastic screw. Okay, and then this little pink thingy here is the motor that drives the. So this, I believe it's this screw that has to come out here. This is just a motor, but the underside, oh, maybe it's this. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Oh yeah, so it's here. This holds the bottom of that blade, or the diverter blade in there. So I need to unscrew that, and then it should come out up top. All right, I have a little 6mm socket head here. You can hear the metal thing banging around up in there as I turn this. There it is. And now that can come loose. All right, so now it's loose, and you can see, hopefully you can see, I can spin this thing. And I'm gonna see if I can lift it up. I don't want to gloss over this. I had to really work to get this lower holder for that flap out. I had to push up and down on the metal flap up inside of the box, and then push it way down, and then come down in here and yank on it, and finally it came out. But it was not easy. So just wanted to make a note of that in this video. this, and look at how much of the foam is left. Nothing. Basically nothing is sticking to the metal anymore. I haven't even cleaned this. It is just clear. There's a little bit of like powdery residue on this, which I'll clean it and wipe it down, but I mean, I could just about put new tape on it and be done. A little engineering calculation here. So when the foam inevitably fails and the air flows freely through the holes in these sheet metal baffles, it seems they chose to save 2 ounces over a probable complete failure of the climate control system. And manufacturing the baffles without holes would probably be less expensive than with the holes. This engineering decision is completely baffling to me. You see what I did there? Baffling? I chose to use duct tape for several reasons. Number one, it's got a strong string matrix that holds itself together very well and is durable. Its glue is very strong, and when I stick it on both sides of the baffles, it should stick to itself through what were the holes. It is capable up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and the radiator core should only be at about 180. And it should provide some level of sound damping. Sound damping is important because when the flaps open and close, I don't want my car to sound like chitty shitty bang bang, even though this car is phantasmagorical. Whoops. Oh well, guess I've got some permanent dirt in there. The second flap that is closer to the interior of the car is controlled by this thing right here, and the way to get it to spin inside of there so you can tape it on both sides is to disconnect it from the actuator here, this lever, and the way you do that is to squeeze the 2 sides. You can see it has a split in the middle. You squeeze the 2 sides of it, and then you pop this down out off of it, and then that allows you to move the flap internally, and you can do it from above too. You don't have to come down here to move it. Oh, and to gain access to it, I just had to take out a screw here and one on the other side to drop down this heater duct that's for your feet, the footwell area. To get to the hidden flap, I started with a piece of duct tape about 6 or 7 inches long, and I rolled it like this without creating wrinkles. And then, so I took the piece of tape, put it on my finger like this, reached back in, found the flap, located the hole with my finger like this, and then stuck the tape on the backside, and then began to unroll it around the flap, covering the hole, doubling back, and double covering the hole, and then stick it down. And that allowed me to cover the holes properly, get it really stuck down nicely, and get a good seal. It's a little tricky getting back in there. Okay, so now I've I've got the duct tape onto the flap that's closest to the passengers and the dash. Now I got to put this back on. Oops, you can see I just rotated it, which I didn't want to do. Probably can't see that now. I've got it onto the position here. I'm going to push, snap it in. Okay, now that's back in place. Now I'm going to put a screw in here and then on the other side, and that is put back together. Okay, so it looks like the pattern on the bottom is, it can go on either way, so it's okay if it's rotated 180 degrees once you get it into the diverter flap from the bottom. So long as I get that thing snapped in there, it should be fine. Okay, a little bit of mild wrestling in here, and I've got it dropped down into the hole down below. Now I got to get underneath and slide that clip in. Okay, so I felt the position of it. You can hear I'm twisting it, so I'm on the flap. Now I'm going to push this in, and hopefully it'll snap onto there. But it probably won't, because I'm filming this. There we go. Okay. So there's two slots in the flap, and then there's a thing in the middle, and there's two slots, and you have to get the plastic to line up into those two slots, and then it snaps in. Okay, next thing, I'm gonna put this, so there we go. Yeah, there it is. Now we gotta put the screw in place. Okay, it's in there. Okay, first test is the heater, and this is the heat flap, because this is the where the heater core goes in. So right now it's on full heat, where air is going to come in this way and go out that way. So now I'm going to turn it down to a low temperature where it would use no heat. Okay, and now I can feel in here where it shut this side off, and this side is actually shut off too, so no air would flow through the heater coil. To test the airflow into the car, I just stuffed a rag down into here to keep the air from just blowing out the top of this. Alright, so to test the flap that controls which direction you get the air into the car, one goes to the vent, which is this one right here, and we can use this thing and see that it is definitely blowing air out there. Now I can change to the floor vent, and I can hear and I can feel air coming out down here. And then we can change to dash air, and I can feel that coming out up by the window. You can see that thing shaking around because the air is coming out there now. So the front flap is working properly. As I go to put this back together, I need to cap off the top of the location where the top of the flap is, and you can see how there's a movement there on that inner sort of bearing holder thing, and you want to make sure that you don't glue that in place because the flap won't work anymore after that. So you can take this and somehow glue it only around the outside, which would work, I guess. Another thing you can do is I had some cap 3D printed. I'll put a link in the description and maybe a QR code for this. And so this just snaps down on there like that. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of glue on the inner surface here so that it will stay in place. But I may just use a little bit of this goop here on the inside of it. And that I just need it to not vibrate off. Really, this is just to keep dust out and dirt so that it doesn't get gummed up on that sliding surface. So that's my solution for this. Okay, so here we go. I've put a little bit of that butyl goop onto the inner surface there. I'm just gonna shove it down on there, and that should not easily vibrate off. There you go. That stuff is sticky. Put the gasket in place. All right, so this stuff is like magic. I've got no affiliation with these people, but it sure seems to work for clearing up goop. I love to put things back together when I've cleaned all the parts and they look like they're new. Okay, I forgot the little plastic doohickey that goes on the goes around that thing underneath it here. So I've got to take it out again, put that around the shaft of the windshield assembly, and then that is what the cross brace bolts lines up into. The reservoir for the clutch is the bolt, or the nut for the bolt that goes through the windshield washer assembly. So you can see it moves a little bit when I turn it, so you have to hold that steady in order to tighten it down. Okay, now for these braces, this is in this orientation. You can see the angle of that, and this, they've got to be on the right side. I repaired my cowl with a metal piece. I have another video on fixing plastic parts on a 996 if you want to see how that was done, but the plastic cracked open, and I just put an L-shaped metal bracket that holds it much better. Next thing is there's a screw that's going to go in there, and then 2 screws here, and then another bolt on the other side, or another nut on the bolt with the replaced metal bracket on the other side. All right, now we come to the part where the tape matters. This is the reason why I put tape on it, on the windshield. Yep, there we go. And the driver's side one is a little less friendly because the bolt sort of sticks up right underneath of the hood, so we need to open the hood to do this one. I hope this video helps you get your own Porsche 996 or 7 or Boxster climate control system back in shape, and you can display your smile without having to use a toothbrush first.